Cheers friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome to another tarot TBR video. I am very excited to once again be playing my TBR game for the month of October. It is officially spooky season and I cannot wait. I feel like this is the month where I'm truly going to push myself outside of my comfort zone, read some books that I don't normally read, and just have a good old time. However, I better buckle my seatbelt and get ready because this is the month where I'm going to have to read a bunch of stuff. So I'm excited. I'm participating in a bunch of readathons. I am trying to read so many books. I am really just trying to channel my inner spooky girly, even though usually I'm a cutesy, spicy, smutty girl. In October, I'm trying. I'm going to try my very, very hardest to be the spooky, ooky, scary girl that I want to be in my core, but I'm just a little too scared to do so. But this month is going to be the month. I can feel it in my bones. It is time, and I cannot wait to bring you guys along the journey of picking my TBR for the month of October. Like I said, it's going to be a long video. I'm talking about all of the readathons that I am taking part in this video, so grab yourself something to drink, a snack, definitely get cozy, and let's go ahead and get right into it. Let me first just say, if you have never seen a TBR Tarot video from me before, I use the Fairy Loot Tarot deck that comes in every YA subscription box. I use the deck to have an assigned prompt for each card, and I use that assigned prompt to pick a book off of my TBR. This is not my idea by any means. I will leave a playlist down below of other people that do a tarot TBR video. I always leave it down in my description box below, as well as my playlist for all of the tarot TBR videos that I have done in the past. Both playlists are linked down in the description box. It's a pretty simple and easy game. It's basically an elaborate TBR jar pulling experience with a little bit of extra flair. That being said, I am adding a few new rules into this round that I will take into further rounds of TBR Tarot. And the rule is if I pull consecutive numbers, consecutive suits, or consecutive major arcana, I will have to pick another pull after. So my pulls always start at 8, and so say if I pick a pentacle and a pentacle back to back, then I will have to pick another pull, so then it would be 9. And if I picked a 6 and a 6 back to back, I would have to pull a 9. If I picked, I don't know, the world and the judgment back to back, then I would have to pick another pull. Basically, that's just how it's going to work. It'll make more sense when we play, but hopefully I explained that well enough. I just wanted to spice things up, make it a little bit more fun, change up the rules every now and again. But the same thing goes if I finish my TBR at the end of every month, then I get a reward. If I don't, I get a punishment. And that being said, let's talk about how I did in the month of September, whether I'm going to get a reward or a punishment, and then we'll get into the pulls for the month of October, and then we'll talk about the readathons. Okay, so my first pull of the September was to read The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, and I am currently in the middle of this one. I am 65% of the way through, and I will definitely finish it before the month is over, so I'm counting this one as complete. Then I had The Queen of Wands, and I was supposed to read Shattered Sea by Catherine McCalls, and I did read this. For The King of Moons, I was supposed to read End Goal by Amy Dawes, and I did read this. For The Night of Stars, I was supposed to read Gleam by Raven Kennedy, and I did read this. For The Eight of Moons, I chose Ever After Always by Chloe Leese, and I did read this. For The Two of Stars, I was supposed to read The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez, and I did read this. For The Two of Moons, Orion picked for me to read Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry, and I did read this. And lastly, for the Page of Wands, I was supposed to read Pen Pal by J.T. Gessinger, I can never say it right. Anyways, and I did read this. So as you can see, I did complete everything that is on my Tarot TBR for the month of September, excluding The Nightingale, but because I'm 65% of the way through, I am going to count it as a win, and that means I get to have a reward for the month of September. So without further ado, let's get into my reward. Alrighty friends, it's that time to pick a reward. I did really well this month, so I'm happy to finally be able to grab one of these because I feel like it's been a while. It's so hard to shuffle these, but we'll just pull from the middle. Swap a prompt. So as you can see, my reward for the month was to swap a prompt. So that means any of the prompts that I get throughout the pulls for this month, I can swap it for any other prompt that I currently have in the tarot deck. So I will choose that throughout the pulls depending on which one I don't want to do. It'll really depend on how the TBR is going and which one feels the most apt to swap out. but it might be necessary for as big as a TBR as this is. So we'll see where that comes into play. But I want to quickly just talk about the 2 readathons that I'm going to be participating in, that I'll talk about a full TBR at the very end. But the first one is Stay Spookyathon, hosted by Dana over at Dana Ella and Nikki over at Nikki's Bookish Coven, my besties. I will leave them linked down below, as well as their announcement videos linked down below as well, so you can check it out. It is a bingo board. It is being hosted the entire month of October, and I'm very excited for it. They hosted it last year, and they're bringing it back for round 2, and I am so excited. You guys know how much I love a bingo board, and so I'm very excited for that. And I will definitely be trying to do a blackout with all of the prompts being filled by one singular book, so I'll talk about my full TBR for that. And then, of course, I want to participate in Becca's Spookaplathon, which, of course, we will do today as well, but that's a hot mess, so just stay tuned for that, because oh my gosh, what a ride. 9 minutes later, let's officially get into my pulls for the month of October. Every month, it gets harder and harder to shuffle this deck, but the deck is shuffled. Let's pull for our very first pull. The Ace of Pentacles. Pull number 1 started off with a bang, and this is the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is a free pick, which honestly, I will never complain about getting a free pick. I can pick any book that I want, and for this, I'm going to slot in the Swoony Readers book club pick for the month of October, and that is Be Still My Heart by Emily McIntyre and Sav R. Miller. This is a romantic suspense, dark romance, murder mystery situation that I am very excited to give a go. I have read books by both of these authors, so I'm very excited to see what I think of this one. It's a chunker, so I definitely wanted to make sure that I put it on my priority TBR to get done, because obviously I need to read it. We will be doing sprints and a live show for this book, so if you want to participate in reading this book with us, I will leave the details for the sprints and the live show in the description box below, and I will of course tag Karina and Dana, who I host the Swoony Readers with, down in the description box, and the Instagram for the Swoony Readers if you want to stay up to date with all of our information and any live show dates and times. Wow, that was a lot of information to throw at you, and it was a lot of information to come out of my mouth, but I did it. I'm very excited for this one. Hopefully I love it as much as some of the other people have. However, I've heard very mixed reviews so far, so I'm a little bit nervous. Pull number 2. The 6 of Pentacles. Pull number 2 got us the 6 of Pentacles, and I swear every time I implement a rule, it always happens that the second card that I pull adds a pull to the numbers that I have to do for the month. So Pentacles was the duplicate for back-to-back pulls, so we will have to pull a 9th pull for the month. That's okay. The 6 of Pentacles is to read a taboo romance, and for this I'm going to be reading No Way Back by Santana Knox. The first book in the series is called No Way Out. It is a little short novella series that is very dark, very depraved, very crazy. Very crazy. Please, please, I urge you, if you are going to pick up either book in the series, check the trigger warnings. It is absolutely psychotic crazy. I was definitely changed by this reading experience, and I wouldn't say that I loved the first book, but it was definitely an experience I'll never forget. Therefore, I feel like I have to read the second one. It is a direct sequel to the first novella, and I feel like because the book is so short and goes off the rails very quickly, I feel like I shouldn't tell you anything about it, but I feel like I have to urge you to read the trigger warnings because it's one of the darkest things, if not the darkest thing I've ever read, ever. And I've read a lot of dark things, so I'm curious to see what she's going to do with the second book. I don't know how you can get worse than that, but if anyone can do it, Santana Knox can. So I'm curious to see what I'm going to think of that one. It's very short. It's only like 119 pages, so crossing my fingers that I even somewhat enjoy it, because I'm scared. But it's perfect for the Halloween season, so I'm right on track. I'm gonna pull from the bottom. The 7 of Suns. Okay, pull number 3 got us the 7 of Suns. This is the first time we've ever pulled this tarot card, and this is last letter, first letter. So I have to use the last letter of the last book that I picked to pick the first letter of the next book that I'm going to pick. And No Way Back ends with a K, so the book I have to pick now has to start with a K. And for this, I'm going to be picking up Kid by Jessie Hall. This is technically interconnected standalone series. They don't even have a series name. It's not like labeled as a series, but you meet Kid in Hawk by Jessie Hall, which I read Hawk last year, I believe actually in the fall time, and really enjoy it. Maybe I read it this year actually. I read it this year. Time is a concept. I understand. Please don't hold me accountable to the things that I say. Thank you. But I read Hawk and I enjoyed it, and I'm excited to get around to Kid. Kid is a hoot. He's a riot. He is a character for sure, and I just cannot wait to see what kind of shenanigans this character gets up to in his own book. He was just so fun to watch as he kind of popped into Hawk every once in a while, so I'm so excited for the absolute fever dream that is going to be this book. It's thick, but I'm excited for it, and I'm hoping that Jesse Hall does not disappoint. I don't even really know what this is about, and honestly, I want to go in completely blind because I just want to be surprised. Pull number 4. The Empress. Pull number 4 got us The Empress, and this is Touch Her and You Die vibes, and honestly, I love it, and this series is definitely giving Touch Her and You Die vibes, and I have been obsessed with this series after reading the 3rd book, so I feel like it's only proper that I pick up book 4, and that is Glow by Raven Kennedy. I read Gleam last month and absolutely fell in love with it, gave it 5 stars, and so I just need to continue on with the series. It left off on a massive cliffhanger, and I need to know what's going on. I need to know the details, and I just have a feeling that this book is going to be the one that really just takes off and leaves me jaw dropped, and I just cannot wait. It's a thick boy. She's 700 pages. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just excited, okay? I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. I cannot wait. This is a King Midas retelling about a girl who is gold touched. She is gold from head to toe. She is King Midas's favored, and she is on a journey to kind of escape the shackles and the bonds that she has so willingly put herself in, and it's a journey of like self-discovery and freedom. And I don't want to explain more than that. It is very much a series that you kind of have to go in knowing very little, but it's so good. It's a slow burn. The 1st book definitely is slow. It's slow, but once you get into the series, it's so good. Please believe me. I gave the 1st book 3 stars and thought it was mediocre, and now I'm rating the books 5 stars, so it's incredible, and I cannot wait to read book 4. Pull number 5, the 10 of Pentacles. Pull number 5 is the 10 of Pentacles, another one that we have never pulled, and this is a book that matches my outfit. So I left this one up to interpretation because I didn't know what I was going to be wearing today, and I actually changed my shirt. So let me go look. I am wearing black jeans and a kind of like off black and white shirt. I'm gonna call it black, even though on camera it's pulling a little bit more gray, but it's definitely a black shirt. So let me go take a look at what I have on my TBR cart that is feeling fall, and I'll pick a few and I can choose which one I want to read. Okay guys, I lied. I pulled a few things off of my TBR. I have Mischief Night, I have Hollowed Eve, I have Madam, and honestly all 3 of these could fit the vibes. These 2 specifically, these ones really do fit the Halloween vibes, but there's a novella on my TBR that I really want to read that I have been just like dying to get to, and it's short and it's already on one of my other TBRs for the month, so I think I'm gonna go with that one, even though I probably should read a book that's on my physical TBR. But I'm gonna be reading No Place to Hide. I don't remember the author of this one, but I am very excited to read it. It's not all black, but it does have black and white on the cover, so I feel like it still fits within the prompt, and I'm just excited for it. It's a like 99-page novella set at a carnival, and I just love a good carny novella. Spicy vibes, and I cannot wait to read this one. I've heard nothing but good things. Both Karina and Dana really love this one. I think Nikki has also read this one and really enjoyed it, so I cannot wait to finally get around to it. It's been one that has been on my list for quite some time, since I believe last year, and all the other besties have read it, and I'm still sitting here just, you know, twiddling my thumbs, waiting for the book to come to me. You know, that's not how that works. But the downside to this one is I do have to use my eyeballs because there's no audiobook for this one. So send prayers and good vibes and hopes that I can read 99 pages with my eyeballs. Thanks. Pull number 6. The 8 of Moons. All right, up next we got the 8 of Moons, and this is another pull from last month, so we'll be doing another pull. We're slowly adding those numbers up. I don't know what I was thinking, but alas, here we are. And the 8 of Moons is to read a book with disability rep, and for that I'm going to be reading With You Forever by Chloe Leese, the next book in the Bergman Brothers series. I feel like this is the perfect one to pick up as I continue the series because all of the books in the series have disability rep in some way, shape, or form, and I have been loving the series first and foremost, and I need extra motivation to continue series because that is one thing that I have been working on for several years, is getting that series number list down, and it's very hard. So I'm hoping that I can just use this continuous prompt that keeps getting pulled from my TBR tarot deck as a way to continue on with series. I don't really know what this one is about, just like I don't really know what all of the ones are in the series are about. Do I have special editions? Yes. Do I know what they're about? No. No, don't ask any questions, okay? This is about Axel and Ronnie? I do remember the circumstance in which this has all come to pass, and I'm actually very excited to get around to this one. So hopefully I enjoy it. I love the Bergman series so much, and I think Chloe Lees has a wonderful way of writing real, authentic, like very in-depth characters, and I'm excited to get around to the fourth or fifth book in the series. I don't even know. Third? I don't know. Pull number 7. The 10 of Stars. Our next pull got us the 10 of Stars, and this is to finish a series. I was just talking about that, so this is very apt. And for this, I'm choosing As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. Now, you might be thinking, Kaylani, have you read book 2? No, I haven't. But hold your horses, it's okay, because I plan on reading both books 2 and 3 this month in October, so I feel like putting the third book on this list is fine. It's fine, nobody freak out. It might just actually push me to get the series done, because it's actually on my tarot book TBR, for which I'm obligated to read, so let's hope and pray that that line of thinking actually works. But this is the third book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, the first one being A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and it follows a young girl who kind of investigates a closed case that happened in her town as a school project, and she opens it back up and finds out that things aren't exactly how it seems. And I believe that book 2 follows her new podcast, following like the events strictly like directly after the events of book 1. So I don't know what book 3 is about, obviously, because I haven't read book 1, but I'm excited to get around to both of them. Pull number 8, which should have been our last pull. Death. Our 8th pull got us Death, and that is to read a mafia romance. And I should have picked a smaller book, but this book screams fall, and I just had to pick it. And that is The Sinner by Chantal Tassir, the second book in the Lords series. And she's massive, but I'm excited to read it. It's been a book that's been on my TBR for quite some time, and I really need another series to be completed off of my list. I've also heard it's very dark and very hard to get through. Very, 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 very dark. But I want to read it. So I'm hoping that I can get through this one. I'm hoping that the audiobook will, help me chug along, and I can get through this big 600-page book. Pray for me. This is like a mafia school setting, secret society romance that has to do with, I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even think I want to explain it. It's dark, it's mafia, it's set at a school, and I'm excited to read this one. But actually, really the whole reason I'm getting through the series is because I want to read Carnage, and that's like the second to last book in the series, so I gotta get through this one. Pull number 9. Strength. Pull number 9. Got a Strength, and this is a back-to-back major arcana card, which means I have to do another pull. It's fine. But anyways, I'm just gonna pretend like I don't see the numbers stacking up. Strength. This is to read a book with a strong female lead, and for this, you guessed it, I'm going to read Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, the second book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I just talked about the series at length, so I'm not going to talk about it again, but I am going to be reading book 2 on my official TBR. Pull number 10. The Queen of Wands. All right, our next pull is the Queen of Wands, and would you look at this? This is another pull from last month. I don't know what the heck is going on, but I need it to stop, okay? But the Queen of Wands is to read a small town romance. And for this, I'm going to be reading Rootbound. This is by Tara DeWitt. I have read a book by this author in the past, and I liked it. I didn't love it, but I am very excited to get around to this one. It's definitely giving absolute fall vibes, and I cannot wait to get around to it. Hopefully, crossing my fingers, I enjoy it more than I did, I believe it was Funny Story. It wasn't a bad book by any means. I think I gave it 3.5, but I'm hoping that this book is an absolute winner. I don't know anything more than the fact that it's small town, and yeah, that's it. That's all. I was gonna say something else, but I really don't know. I'm hoping I love it. Pull number 11. Whoa. Okay. I'm gonna pick the one up top here. The Two of Moons. All right, our next pull got us the Two of Moons. Guess what? This is from last month as well. This is an Orion pick. Now, you might think this is cheating, but I do have a reward, and it's swap a prompt. I'm gonna be so kind to myself, and I'm gonna swap a prompt. That means I don't have to pull an extra pull, and unfortunately Orion's not gonna pick for me, but I need to choose myself. I need to choose kindness, so I'm gonna do that. And that's the whole point of the reward, is to reward myself, and so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna swap it for Ace of Suns. The prompt is out of your comfort zone. You may think, Kaylani, you swapped that for this? But this month, I'm trying to read more thrillers and things that are really outside of my comfort zone. So I figured this was the perfect prompt. And because I was taking a pull away from myself, I figured it was a good little middle ground, you know? So for my out of comfort zone prompt, I'm going to be reading The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. This is the group book for the Stay Spookyathon Readathon, hosted by Thrills and Chills, which is the book club that Dana and Nikki run that has kind of created this whole Readathon. Did I explain that well enough? Just go watch their announcement video. They explain it well enough for me. I'm not smart enough to do so, and that's what they do best. So I apologize, besties, but the brain cells, they're not brain celling, and I apologize greatly. But I am going to read The Last Housewife. I don't know anything about it. I'm going to go in completely blind. Hopefully I like it, and this will be the first discussion I can finally take part in. Look at me. Pat on the back. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, what is hopefully our last pull number 12. The King of Pentacles. All right, we finally come to the end, our last pull. It is the Knight of Pentacles, and this is to read a book for a video idea. And I do have a video idea including some thrillers. So for the last book on this list, I'm going to be reading What Lies in the Woods. Again, I don't remember the author, but I'll of course put the picture up on the screen. This is a Dana recommendation, and I'm excited to give it a go. I am hoping I'm gonna like it. Again, thrillers, it's one of those things. It's like, will I like it? I don't know. I don't read enough of them to know if I'm gonna love them or not, but I'm hoping that I will. I don't know anything about it. I'm going in completely blind, and I'm hoping that I will find at least one that I can say is a winner, but we shall see. Stay tuned for that video, because it should be a hoot. All right, there are a lot of books that I don't own that are on this TBR, but look at the stack already. It's absolutely massive. The ones that I do own are absolute chunkers, and I am afraid. I am. In case you were wondering, I am afraid. But let's go ahead and hop into my Stay Spookyathon TBR, because that's chaos. It's chaos incarnate. It's a lot. I am so sorry. The filming process for this one was so intense, and I don't know why. So I apologize greatly for what you're about to see, but please just bear with me because we still have an entire TBR to get through. Okay, I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. I don't know if you can actually see this, but this is what we're working with. I have it plugged in because it's about to die. It's not the most aesthetic situation, but I do want to play Becca's Spookaplathon, so we're gonna do that. I don't even have a piece to play it on, so let me go find one of those and I'll be right back. Okay, I decided to use Bailey's little dog tag. Hopefully that's gonna work, but I'm gonna do 8 rolls, pray that I can double up on the prompts that I already have for my tarot cards, and also pray that I don't get too many doubles. So let's do it. I'm scared. Oh my god. Starting off strong. Double 8. A double 4, not double 8, double 4. See if I can do this without... Okay, this is going really well. It's going really well. What? Present. Okay, perfect. Present. Rule number 1 is absolutely no surprise to anyone. It was a freaking double, okay? You saw the stack, right? I don't need any doubles. Please. Spookopoly, listen to me. I don't need any. But I landed on present, and that is to read a book that you really want to read right now. And for that, I chose Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. This is a book that I am chomping at the bit to read because I absolutely loved Legends and Lattes. And again, it's another series that I can tick off of my list, so I'm very excited to get around to this one. The first book follows Viv as she opens up a little coffee shop in her town for which literally nobody knows what coffee is. And after years of being a mercenary, she wants to settle down and have a quiet life. And she just has this like cozy little spot for which she makes coffee and makes friends and has a little found family aspect. It's very low stakes. There are stakes, but it's a very low stake cozy fantasy with an LGBTQI plus romance that is sprinkled in there. It's not a big focus of the book, but it's there, and it was absolutely wholesome and gorgeous, and I cannot wait for the prequel. Roll number 2 of 9. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bonfire. Okay, roll number 2 landed on Bonfire, and that is a book that you want to read, but you don't know if you're going to like. And for this, I'm going to slot in Clown in a Cornfield. This is both a fave from Dana and Nikki, and it is a book that is an absolute terrifying read for me. I don't like slashers in any capacity, in media, in book form, but they love it so much that I feel like I just have to give it a try. And if I don't like it, I don't like it. But I have been saying I'm going to try it for about 3 years now, and I feel like it's finally time to do so. So let's do it. Roll number 3. 4. Bone. Rule number 3 got us Bone. And that is to read a book that has something on the cover that has like the colors of bones and whatever stage of decay that is. And I feel like Rootbound definitely fits the prompt in some way, shape, or form. I think that some of those orangey to yellow colors in the fall range fit the bone shades. I think if you don't agree with me, go ahead and fight me on it, but I feel like Rootbound by Tara DeWitt definitely fits the vibes for this prompt. So that is what I'm using for bone. Okay, roll number 4. Whoa. It's a double 2. Okay, 4. That one is broomstick. Roll number 4. I jinxed myself and got another friggin' double. Okay, and that landed on broomstick. And broomstick is to read a book with a simple and clean cover. And for this, I think I'm just gonna go with with you forever. I don't know where I got only from, but this just is very simple. It's just 2 people on the cover. Yes, the book is a special edition, and so it has some other non-simplistic elements, but the cover in and of itself is very simple. So this is what I'm gonna go with. Roll number 5 of 10 is 8. Spooky. Roll number 5, I landed on spoopy, and for that, it is to read a non-scary spooky book. And for this, I'm going to be reading Tart of Darkness. It is a cozy mystery that Nikki recommended me, so I'm very excited to get around to it. It is like a non-fantastical cozy mystery. It's, I believe, the first book in a series, so I'm definitely curious to see what I'm going to think of this one. I have been trying to find a cozy mystery series that I absolutely love. I've read a few that I have found to be okay. I'm hoping the ones that she recommended me, I absolutely fall in love with. Roll number 6, 7. Most recent purchase. Then for roll number 6, I landed on most recent purchase, and my most recent purchase, actually like to the dot, is Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor, the next book that I need to read in our read-along that we're doing. This is hosted by myself, Karina, Dana, and Lindsay from She's Booked and Busy, and this is the second book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series by Laini Taylor. Right? That's the series name? I don't know. But we are reading book 2 in October, and I needed to pick it up anyway, so having it on the TBR is perfect. Number 7. I don't know. I'm gonna re-roll that. That's 9. Chance. Okay, since I have Chance up on my board here, it's either Chance that you can get or Community Shelf. And I think Community Shelf is the one that you're supposed to do the books and Chance is the prompts. If I have that backwards, my apologies, but we're just gonna pretend that I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna go and do my prompts. I used all the prompts that I'm using for a different readathon, the Stay Spookyathon by Dana and Nikki, so I'm gonna spin this and get a prompt. Nice! The group book. Editing Kaylani here. I'm sorry I sound so gross, but I guess I just forgot to film the section where I talk about the group book roll for Becca's Spookaplathon, but I did land on a chance card, which got me to group book, and I'm going to be using the group book that is a part of the Stay Spookyathon Readathon, which is hosted by Thrills and Chills, and their group book for this month, I already talked about it, is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. I will be reading that for this particular prompt. Sorry, but here it is. Okay, spin number 8, or roll number 8 is 7. Ghostface. Our next roll got us Ghostface, and from what I can remember from Becca's video, she said this is one of the hardest squares on the board, and that is because you have to read a book that has a sound word in the title. And for this is going to be the complete opposite of what you would think I would pick for this like prompt because of Ghostface, but I'm going to be picking the Happy Ever After playlist. Because playlist, when I think of playlist, I think of songs. It's a little bit stretching because it's not an actual like song, but a playlist has a group of songs, and for that, I'm going to count it. It is so far from the prompt, like the actual like idea of the prompt, Ghostface, that it makes me laugh, but it fits the prompt, so I'm gonna use it. Roll number 9 is 10. That is the Cauldron, if I can get this thing to work properly. The Cauldron. What a hot mess this is. Roll number 9 landed us on Cauldron, and this is to read a book with a like collection of your favorite tropes. And for this, I'm going to be reading Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. This is a small town single parent trope, and you could literally not put two things more perfect together in a book, other than the fact that it's also Elsie Silver. And if that's not a trope, it's an author, but perfection to me. Okay, mix that up in a cauldron, and I'm drinking the potion every time. And what is hopefully our last roll, roll number 10, is 7. Spooky again. Oh no, I'm sorry. The first 2 times it was spoopy, not spooky, spoopy. And finally, rule number 10 for Becca's Spookoplathon, we have spoopy once again, and that is to read a non-scary spooky read. And for this, I'm reading A Spell of Trouble. Again, I don't remember the author of this one. I will put it up on the screen. It's another cozy mystery recommended by Nikki, but this one is actually fantastical. So I'm hoping that I love this one as well. I don't know anything about it. I'm going in completely blind, but I'm hoping it's a winner for me. And finally, after all of that, let's get into my Stay Spookyathon TBR. I will put the bingo board up on the screen, and I will just let you know what books I'm reading for which prompts. I'm not going to go into great detail or depth, but I did want to make sure to talk about my TBR in hopes that I can get through all of the books that I was hoping to read for this month. I'm going to go ahead and just read off of my iPad because it might be just a little easier, but I'll hold up the books that I actually have. So for slasher, I'm going to be reading Clown in a Cornfield. For paranormal, I'm going to be picking up Seraphim Academy by Elizabeth Briggs. For Read After Dark, I'm going to be picking up Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. I read this one in one sitting, so I'm hoping to read this one in one sitting as well with like a really cute fall ambiance. It sounds like the perfect vibe. Then the next square is Listen to a Spooky Ambiance. We do this all the time during sprints, so this is an easy win. Then we have an adult thriller, and for this I'm going to be reading What Lies in the Woods. Up next we have Watch a Spooky Movie. I will be trying to do that throughout the month, but I'm not a big spooky movie watcher, so we shall see. But I believe the girls are doing spooky movies this month, so I might just try to hop into one of those because that would be the perfect excuse. Then for true crime, I'm going to be slotting in Good Girl, Bad Blood, since the main character has a true crime podcast. That was weird, came out of my mouth weird, but she has a true crime podcast, so it definitely fits for the prompt. For Animal on the Cover, I'm going to be reading A Court of Mist and Fury. I'm going to do a reread. For Buddy Read, I'm going to slot in the Happy Ever After playlist. We are doing a read-along with Karina, Dana, Tara from Tara Talks Books, and B from Mama Needs to Read Romance, and we're reading all of Abby Jimenez's backlist. So if you want to join us, I will leave those wonderful ladies linked down below as well. For Cozy Mystery, I'm going to be reading A Spell of Trouble. For Feminine Rage, I'm going to be reading Glow by Raven Kennedy. For Host Fave, I'm going to be reading Tart of Darkness. The free space is just the free space. For Set and Fall, I'm going to be reading Rootbound. Then for Gives You the Creeps, I'm going to be reading No Way Back by Santana Knox. For audiobook, I'm going to slot in Days of Blood and Starlight. For Orange or Black on the Cover, for the first time featured in this video, I'm going to be reading Losers Part 2. For Spooky Novella, I'm going to be reading Monster Pucker. For the Night Sky on the Cover, I'm going to be reading No Place to Hide. Trick or Treat Your Shelf is another non-reading prompt, so I will definitely buy myself a book this month. For a 2024 release, I'm going to be reading Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. A Fall Drink is another non-reading prompt. For the group book, I'm going to be reading the group book, The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. For a YA thriller, I'm going to be reading As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. And finally, to revisit a spooky fave, I'm going to be reading The Dare by Harley Laurel. I reread this every year. Alrighty, friends, that is the end of this TBR, this very, 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 very long list. I think I should try to hold up all the books that I'm going to read. Hold on, let me try to do that. Give me a second. Okay, these are the ones that I own. Oh my god, one fell. Yeah, what am I thinking? Happy October to me. Okay, friends, that is the TBR. That is all of the readathons. That is all of the books. That is me losing my absolute mind. Because who thought? Me? I thought. I don't know. I'm going to pray for myself. I hope that you will send all of the good vibes my way, all of the good reading vibes, with the hopes that I will actually get even close to finishing this TBR. I will leave everybody that I am doing read-alongs with, everyone for the readathons, linked down below so that you can go check them out and show them all of the love. If you made it to the end of this video, leave any fall emoji, any spooky emoji, anything that feels like it's part of the October vibes for you. Feel free to leave that down in the comments below, and feel free to share anything about any of the books that I mentioned today. Also, feel free to share with me what you plan on reading in October, what is at the top of your TBR. I cannot wait to hear what you guys plan on reading. I know it is a very anticipated month for so many, so I'm excited to read all of your guys' comments. That is the end of this video, though. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big ol' thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and of course leave any comments, questions, suggestions in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!